All right, welcome to Celtics Postgame Live, where the Celtics just lost 119-115, the final score to the Philadelphia 76ers in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. Tom Giles, Scal, and turnover is certainly a big part of it, and we saw one right at the very end there as well. The Celtics with those 15 turnovers just bit them.
And for me, I get it. Like, the Celtics were loose with the basketball. I give the Sixers credit for being active defensively with active hands. But I'll keep going back. I said it at halftime. I'm going to say it now. Like, if we're not going to force more turnovers, we're not going to make them uncomfortable, then all of a sudden you're living in that whole make-miss league. And tonight, the Sixers made big shots when they counted. James Harden was off the charts. He has been up and down all season. You're wondering if he still has it. Well, tonight he had it. And if we're not going to pressure the basketball, get deflections, and force turnovers, then it's going to be really difficult for us to have easy, comfortable wins. Then you're leaving it up to the basketball gods, and tonight James Harden delivered when we couldn't down the stretch.
Yeah, James Harden with 45 points. It's a playoff career high for him. It was actually 16 turnovers total for the Celtics in this one. And you look at the other side for Philadelphia, and
8.
Yeah, just 8. So that's a huge difference there, especially when you look at the number of shots they got. They got 14 more field goal attempts than the Celtics in this game. It felt like, though, once again, late, the Celtics are trying to slow things down, trying to just take time off the clock, and you're not seeing the same rhythm offensively, the same tempo that you were certainly seeing earlier in the game, and also when they took over again in the fourth quarter.
Well, they did the same thing against Atlanta, but if you watch that game, it was Tatum and Brown in all the action. Today, there was a lot of different guys in the action. Now, I don't know why we didn't emulate what we saw in Atlanta.
And you're talking about Game 6?
Yeah,
the Game 6
You
one.
saw Jaylen Brown come over, set a screen. Jason Tatum was getting trapped a lot in that Atlanta series. Tonight, they threw a double team on him, but they're not going to come off the body of Jaylen Brown. So that was the difference. Now, I don't know what their game plan was. I didn't mind them walking the ball up the court if you have your best players in the action. Today in the fourth quarter, they didn't. They had, sometimes it was Tatum, sometimes it was Brown, sometimes it was Smart. I'd rather it just be the two best players in the action.
All right, let's take a look at the highlights here. Late in the fourth quarter, you had the Celtics up by 1. It was 111-110, and Al Horford playing with a lot of energy there in that second half, able to come up with an offensive rebound. And off the offensive rebound, this leads to the extra possession for the Celtics. And Al with the tip-in eventually here. So the Celtics actually took a lead. There he is down low. 113-110. Now, after a couple Philadelphia free throws, this possession, Malcolm Brogdon and the Celtics, taking the shot clock all the way down, moving the ball. It ends up in the hands of Tyrese Maxey. And the question was, did the shot clock already go off? Should it have been a shot clock violation, which would have negated the easy 2 on the other end for Tyrese Maxey, which gave Philadelphia the 1-point lead.
Yeah, but you got to be, we're the Boston Celtics. We're trying to win a championship. We got to understand time on the clock. Tatum should have known it, and Brogdon should have known it. Even if that pass was complete to Tatum, he wasn't going to have enough time. So very poor possession. And whether the shot clock went off or not, the Celtics shouldn't be having a possession late in the game like that.
Tyrese Maxey, by the way, had a massive second half for Philadelphia. And then you got James Harden after a couple of free throws, giving Philly the lead for good here, 117-115 over Al Horford. So that was under 10 seconds to go as he was on it tonight.
Yeah, that was a massive shot. For a guy who we all question whether he still had it. We all question whether if he's going to get big money this offseason, he delivered.
Here's the final play here. Marcus Smart trying to make something happen, and Philadelphia defending it pretty well at the rim, trying to get to Jason Tatum, and you see the turnover over the baseline and as Paul Reed comes up with it and gets fouled, and then he knocks down 2 free throws.
The only thing I don't understand is no time in the NBA when a guy drives to the basket should you also have 2 other guys in the paint. So if Tatum wants to be the guy that dives, no problem. Al Horford's got a space. If Al Horford is the guy that dives, then Tatum's got a space. In the NBA, I get it. Like your late game, you're thinking that you can hit the offensive glass, but spacing is important. You can't just do your own thing. If Marcus drives and a guy cuts, there has to be another guy out. If not, you get plays like that, which are turnovers, and then it put you in a bad way. Spacing kills you if it's not right.
Why was James Harden so effective in this game? Because he was 7 of 14 from 3, 17 of 30 overall, but it seemed like they were matchup hunting all night, and they were getting switches where James Harden looked like he was getting favorable matchups.
I mean, he spent the whole weekend in Vegas. Maybe there's something to do with that. I mean, all I know is James Harden was out, and he was hanging out, and somehow he bounced back. I will say that he's been in this position before as the best player. No Joel Embiid to give up possessions to. So he pretty much can dictate this game. And for him, it's a throwback performance. And 11 days off is definitely going to help him with his age and the miles that he has. I can guarantee that he's not going to do this again. You know, it doesn't mean that Philadelphia can't do something different, but we're not going to see another performance like this in this series from James Harden. This was the one time for him to go off.
All right, so 119-115 is your final score as James Harden putting up 45 points against 17 of 30 from the field, 6 rebounds, 2 steals, and taking over, as Cal just said, when Joel Embiid was out in this game 1. So, you know, the Sixers just hanging with the Celtics in the first half. When Boston shot 74% from the field, Philadelphia somehow found themselves down by just 3, and again, turnovers played a part in that. But the Sixers able to hang around in the second half and take control.
One thing to add to this, now, I still think no matter what happens, the Celtics will win this series. But if you want the games to be 10, 12-point games down the stretch where we have control over it, you go back to James Harden. As much as he had the ball today in his hands, he had 2 turnovers. Like, think about every play that he made, every time he got downhill, every shot that he took, just 2 turnovers. And one of them was a questionable offensive foul.
45 points for Harden, 26 for Tyrese Maxey.